Guys, stop apologizing for being proud of yourself. Sometimes people that talk to me, they'll be like, oh my God, they'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I feel like I'm just talking about myself. I'm like, hey man, listen, it's okay to believe in yourself around me, buddy. Okay? You're giving me hope. When good shit happens to people, I get hopeful. Cause that's the positive about being selfish.
Welcome to FredTalk, where if you're not learning, hopefully you're laughing.
Here we go, guys. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Dolocast, FredTalk, live stream number 2, baby. We are here. We're going to talk about the holidays. Thank you guys for the kind words on the other Dolocast. I'm going to try to do these every week. So the next one's going to be Monday. Today, we're going to cover some of the holidays. I got a funny pajama story to tell you about me telling a white family that the matching pajamas make me uncomfortable. That's my girlfriend's family too. So New Year's, I'm going to see what everybody's up to in the New Year's, tell you what I got some thoughts about, and then we're going to hit some of these random thoughts. One of them is romantic love real? That's one of them right there. Is romantic love real? Okay. What do you guys think? All right. Think about that. All right. That's coming towards the end. And then I'm going to talk to you about my 2052 presidential campaign, guys. All right. 2052 presidential campaign. So you let me know what's up. All right. Let me know. Looks like I don't know if the chat's up or not, guys. We're still figuring out the technical part here, but we're gonna get rocking over here, guys. All right. So, how's everybody's holiday going? Huh? How's everybody's holiday? Everybody getting through okay? Christmas is now. Everybody's coming down off the old Christmas high. Did you get all the gifts you wanted? Did you tell off any family members? Did you stand up for yourself? Did you set any boundaries? Or did you make any progress during the holidays of some sorts? Did you relax? I think a lot of us maybe needed to relax. Maybe we were stressed out. Things were very uncertain this year. Maybe this was a nice time to decompress, especially these days in between Christmas and New Year's. Guys, these days in between Christmas and New Year's are pivotal, A lot of people go, I'm going to start getting ready for next year. Other people go, nah, fuck that shit. I'm just going to chill here. I'm tired. I got a lot of shit to do. So let me know where your head's at on that. Holidays for us were good. Went up to visit my girl's family up in Richmond. That was fun. It was a good time. They're a fun family. Very loud. I like loud people. I like people that express themselves, that just say things that may even sound random to some people. And this family kind of has that. Last Thanksgiving was me and Rachel's first Thanksgiving doing it at the house, like at our house. This was our first time hosting. This is some real adult and shit, guys. All right. I don't like to use that word adulting because I think it's fucking corny, but I got to use the best word for the situation. All right. And I feel like adulting for when you have the family over for the first time, that's some serious adulting right there. And we did it. Me and Rachel, we fucking crushed it. We added elements from like both families and then stuff from like her mom's side and then her dad's side. And I cooked the meat. I cooked the pernil. For those of you that don't know what a pernil is, that's a Dominican or Puerto Rican pork shoulder, right? It's a pork shoulder with just a lot more flavor. If you want to simplify it for you guys, all right? It was delicious. It was fall off the bone. We crushed it, guys, all right? Everything's going good. There was even some crying in the family going on, but that's okay. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to cry it out. All right. It wasn't even bad. What I don't like is the weird, like awkward energy, where people can feel it, but nobody says anything. That's where I'm like, all right, what the fuck's going on here, guys? What's going on? Why is this energy all fucking weird? You can feel it in the room. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right. If you're commenting right now in the chats, I can't see anything. I don't know if the chat's down or not. Kind of unfortunate if the chat's down because that's the whole fucking point of a live stream. But hey, we're going to figure it out, guys. All right. It's the end of the year and we're taking it easy. Okay. So we crushed dinner. The setup, we rented a table. Did you know you can do that? We like rented a long table and we had a white tablecloth. So like under like with the tablecloths and everything, it just looked like a regular ass long table. But under it was some beat up rental shit that we got for it was like $20 for the whole rental. And we have 4 white chairs in our house at our dinner table. So we just ordered 4 plastic white chairs that looked exactly like the metal ones we have in our dining room and just sat them across. We sat 8. We sat comfortably. We crushed it. Everybody was having a good time. Dinner was good. Then this shit happens, guys. I'm sitting there. I'm at the head of the table like a fucking boss. And one of Rachel's family members comes in with a Target bag filled with matching pajamas. Right? Like it's matching pajamas, right? I get uncomfortable, right? I get uncomfortable. And here's the thing, guys. I know that my reaction is ridiculous. Like I know it's I know it's irrational. It was ridiculous. So I didn't say anything. You know, I'm the guy, like I say what's on my mind, but sometimes because when you're aware that you're a ridiculous person, sometimes you got to shut the fuck up and understand that like everything you have to say is not always going to be productive. So if you're an expressive person and it can kind of figure out that part, I think it'll help you in life. Sometimes you got to read the fucking room, you know? That's what I jokingly say, that 90% of life is just knowing how to read a room. And this was that situation. I was like, I don't need to say shit. This is pajamas. I think it's weird that I felt weird about it. You know what I'm saying? I felt weird about it. I was like, why the fuck do I feel like this? I was thinking, first thing I thought was like, damn, I never did matching pajamas with my family. You know, I was like, is that going to be weird? Like, should the first time with matching pajamas be with your immediate family? So already I'm like, oh shit, that kind of made me uncomfortable. Then I was like, all right, my little sister's going to clown the fuck out of me too. All right, she's going to have ammo to make fun of me. I thought of that too. So I'm sitting at the edge of the table, the end of the table like this. I have the pajamas down on my leg and I'm looking down like, and I'm just lost in thought, right? Just to myself, just trying to figure out these weird emotions I have about matching pajamas. And somebody in the family sees that while everyone's talking and decides they want to call me out, right? They go, oh, Freddie doesn't like the pajamas. Now, no, under any normal circumstance, you know, because, you know, it's not that I don't like them. They just made me uncomfortable, right? I would have said that first shot, but I didn't. I was like, no, this is cool, guys. No worries. And I go back down to looking at the pajamas, right? Contemplating again, what, you know, all right, I know I'm going to wear these. I need to get over this feeling I have. 30 seconds later, I get called out again by the same family member. And now at this point, I'm like, all right, all bets are off. I can't hide my facial expressions really. So when I get called out a second time, I go, all right, well, now that you bring it up, you know, I will say that these matching pajamas do make me uncomfortable. And it got quiet. People are like, oh, fuck. It was like weirdness. And, you know, an hour later, the person that called me out was upstairs crying. It was, you know, people were hysterical at one point. And I was literally explaining what I just explained to you guys. Like, I know this is I told them, I know this is a stupid feeling. I will wear the pajamas. You're just asking me how I feel right now. And I'm telling you how I feel right now. All right. And that, you know, a lot of people weren't happy about that. Rachel was one of them. We got over it though. Now, you know, they make fun of me about it. I wore the pajamas for Christmas. I threw a grandpa sweater over it with my Uggs, you know, had to style it up, and I wore it the whole Christmas weekend. But there was a time there that I feared for my life. You don't just tell a whole white family that you don't want to do the matching pajamas. You don't want to tell them that the matching pajamas make you uncomfortable. You don't want to do that. I should get a T-shirt that says I told the white family the matching pajamas made me uncomfortable and I'm still alive. I thought it was gonna be Get Out too after I said that, guys. All right, I put myself in a very tough spot. You know. If you want to stay alive as a black man, you don't fight a police officer, and you don't and you don't tell a white family that the matching pajamas make you uncomfortable. I don't know if I got people in the chat right now because the chats aren't coming up. So I'm just very sorry if you're live streaming and you're tuning in and you got fucking things to say and I can't see them. I'll figure out the tech stuff one of these days. We had it for the first stream, but guys, this is what I'm talking about. I live on the edge. This is the kind of shit I do. And when I do stuff like that, you know, like had I just stayed quiet, then I wouldn't have that story to tell. So it's kind of stuff like that that's self-fulfilling. Here's how you know the universe is at play here. Because I was like, I'm going to be a normal person here, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to say this are great. I'm going to be polite. Polite's weird for me, right? Because polite's very superficial. There's politeness, and then there's compassion. I think compassion is deeper than that. And that's really what you want. Polite's cool. Manners are great, but like, you know, it's not a priority for me. You know, I'm just natural. You know, if you're just naturally a decent person with pretty self-aware, you don't have to like worry about being polite. You just kind of comes off, right? But there are some social contracts, you know, and my girl was a little upset at me, but it was like, you know, it's not like I got handed the pajamas the first shot and I was just like, oh, hell no. Imagine that. Like, oh, fuck. And I just tossed the pajamas out the window. I didn't do that. I got the pajamas. I said, thank you. I got called out once. I mean, there was 3 opportunities, and finally on the 3rd time, I had to say how I felt. Now it's funny though. Now it's I got made fun of when I went to their house and all that. But it was good, guys. It was good. I think we brought the family closer together. So we went to spend Christmas with their family. Did a fun game for the holidays this weekend. It was really cool. So I know a lot of families have like their inside jokes or things that happen at family gatherings. Either maybe someone cries or there's an argument or something like that, or someone slips and falls. This is going to be different for every family. But what we did for this get together was I came up with the idea during Thanksgiving was to come up with like a bingo card, like a bingo game for like the things that happen, typically on like a family outing or family gathering, So if you got an Uncle Jimmy that falls down the stairs every holiday, that would be a bingo square. So whenever when you hear the is that Uncle Jimmy? And you see him at the landing, like, oh fuck. You cross that X off before you help him out because he should know better by now. All right. Don't let Uncle Jimmy fuck up your game. Just make him a part of the game. Something that could have been embarrassing and that could harm the family's name, like Uncle Jimmy just being a drunk and fall down the stairs. Now you've made that into the game. All right. You put these into the bingo squares. I think there's a thing online where you put in all the categories and it makes the bingo cards for you. You print them out. You cut them, you give everyone a Sharpie, and everybody has a fucking blast. It was cool. It actually brought the family together because you get, and then it also, for me at least, because there's some people in the family that repeat a lot of things. It's just like a catchphrase. It made them do that less, which made it a little bit more enjoyable for me. Because everybody was watching what they were saying because they didn't want other people squaring off the fucking X's and all that. So it was actually really cool. So if you're looking to spice up the family gatherings, create a bingo game based off the behaviors that your family does or things that they say. You can really put anything in the square as long as it's some event that typically happens. And then you can figure out the prizes on your own with that. We did, what was it? We did, if you get a line, it's $25 or something like that, just for the first line. And if you get the whole card, then on like another family gathering, you don't have to touch a dish for a whole day. So you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, you don't have to do any of that. So I think the game plan here was just like everybody was just good. They're gonna stack it up for this beach trip that Red's family does every year. But add the bingo game to your family game experience. It could be a whole day, it could be a weekend thing. All right. What gifts did you guys get for Christmas or the holidays? I'm actually taking this time to send out a sincere and heartfelt apology to Lulu Lemon, guys. All right. When I first heard of this brand in 2013-ish or something like that was when I was doing CrossFit. And I went in, I was like, oh, hell no, this is some bullshit. This is what I was thinking in 2013. This is some bullshit suburban house mom status clothing line that if you wear, then people know that you spent the fucking $80 on the dry fit shirt and all this stuff. I was like, it's bullshit. It's a fucking ripoff. These people are getting got. All right. I could see it. These guys are suckers. I could see it on their face. All these people wearing Lulu Lemon. That's what I was thinking in 2013. Right. Then you do CrossFit. You see, the CrossFit people didn't get me. What had piqued my interest was I was at work and this doctor had this fly ass jacket on and it was Lululemon. So bingo, right there. Saw this fly ass jacket was fit. We were like, dude, that's a nice jacket. He's like, I've had this thing for 10 years. And I was like, oh shit. He's had the jacket for 10 years and the shit looked brand new. So that's what the first thing that opened me up to Lululemon. I'm like, all right, if he has a jacket that he wears every day, pretty much, and he's had it for 10 years, that's some good fucking quality. So that was what started me shopping at Lululemon. 7 years later, I own fucking, if you know what the ABC pants are, then you know what the game is. So I'm not a big fashion guy, but I do like to, I dress to make myself feel good, and I know a lot of people probably that listen to this podcast are probably like that too. Like, look good, feel good, but you don't want to break the bank. Maybe you want some quality for the guys. You want something a little more versatile. This fucking ABC pant is it, bro. And the ABC stands for anti-ball crushing. So if you got balls, this might be the pant for you. All right. Now, at first thing, the pants are a little expensive. You know, $130 for a pant. But I bought one pair years ago, and that was the pant I used like every day. I was skating in it, and I would just wash those pants like 2 or 3 times a week. 2 or 3 times a week, I would just wear a pair of black pants. I would wear those all the time. And for a couple years, I was washing them 2 or 3 times a week, and they barely fucking faded. So if you're looking for a good pant that fits good, spacious, especially if you have athletic thighs, because your boy got the Dominican thighs. You know what I'm saying? All right. If you got athletic thighs, then this ABC pant might be something you might want to look into. All right. They got a bunch of different colors, so you can mix and match. Blah blah blah. Same thing with their T-shirt. They got a T-shirt too. And I've tried a bunch of shirts. I've tried other pants, and they end up just shit just gets worn out and stupid. It doesn't happen with this clothing company. So I wanted to give a heartfelt apology to Lulu Lemon because I slandered your name from about 2013. To 2014, 15 or so. So that just to let you guys know. So and also shout out to Lululemon. If you're looking for these pants, you could wear like I haven't worn to the gym yet, but you can wear them to the gym. But they can be a dress pant. You could throw a jacket over it. Like if you're not crazy about wearing a tailored suit or a suit at all, this thing you could buy these pants, get a jacket that kind of looks like it, and you'll fucking look nice. Put some shoes on. They're breathable as hell too. I hate sweating, so I just highly recommend. It was just one of the best purchases, and I don't know if that was entertaining for anybody or useful, but if you're looking at Lululemon as some bullshit brand, I vouch for them. They're the real deal, guys. Quality, comfort. The stores are kind of fun when you go into. A lot of the ladies are wearing spandex. I'm sorry, they're wearing leggings. What are we gonna do, guys? All right, I'm a guy. All right, you walk into a room with a bunch of girls wearing you gotta I gotta fucking get my shirt XL, my large. You gotta keep your head on a swivel, guys. All right, keep it tight and respectful, guys. So that was the Christmas. Wanted to catch you guys up on the pajamas, and then also the gifts and the bingo card. And now we're in those middle days, like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, earlier in this live stream that I can't see the fucking comments on. So really, it's just a podcast that nobody can interact with. So this is just kind of pointless, but I've already started it, and I ain't stopping. All right, guys, I ain't stopping. We're gonna get 1% better every day. That's what this podcast is about, and maybe sometimes taking a few steps back and feeling okay with it too, because that's another important part that we got to get used to. So speaking of moving forward and going back, what are your New Year's resolutions? What are you guys looking to do? What's your New Year's resolution, and why is that your New Year's resolution? Hit me on my Instagram DMs if you're listening to this, or screenshot this and post it to your story. And what's your resolution and why? Mine is I'm getting back into languages. I like learning languages is a hobby for me in college. It took me 7 years to get a bachelor's, so I had extra time to take classes and shit. And I picked up some French and Italian, and I was like kind of conversational in those languages. At one point, I remember one time I visited New York and I spoke 4 languages in one day: English, Spanish, French, and Italian. I was so fucking proud of myself. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Blah blah blah. I get out of college, I don't know any fucking Italian people or know any French people. I can't practice the language, so I'm looking for people now in 2021 that I can speak French. I'm holding off on Italian. It's mostly French and Spanish, because here's something, guys, that I'm so embarrassed about. My Spanish is rusty. It's rusty. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this pause that wasn't there before. It's something different, and it's actually brought a lot of shame to me. I'm actually kind of embarrassed by that. So now I've been calling family members and shit like that only speak Spanish and talking to them. They're like, oh my God, this guy's catching up. But really, I'm just practicing my Spanish, guys. So if you get a phone call from me, if you're one of my aunts and I'm talking Spanish the whole time, just know that you're helping me bring the culture on to the next generation, because I don't want to lose that shit. That's embarrassing. That was the language I spoke first. English I learned second. I know way more English. I know so many unnecessary words in English. People are like, can you speak the same as in English? I'm like, no. Not even fucking people who only speak English as a language, because most of them can't speak better English than I do. I just know unnecessary words. Unless I hang out with English majors, Then I'm learning like 6 words every fucking hour. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, good thing you could spend all that money on that degree so I could learn these words from you. Thank you so much for being in massive debt with your English degree so you can teach me words when we hang out, guys. All right? I was at a sushi restaurant the other day, and it was it threw me off because I didn't expect a Spanish word to be on the menu, and the word was crudo, crudo. Crudo is raw, but when I read it, I was like, oh, can I get the whitefish crudo? I should shut this podcast down after that. I feel like I just lost a bunch of street cred. It threw me off. I'm at a sushi spot. It's Japanese. I wasn't expecting Spanish on the menu. What the fuck do you want me to do? Huh? So I tell this girl, let me get whitefish crudo. I could tell she looks like some kind of Afro-Latino. She's got some, I could tell, right? So I start getting self-conscious, and I'm hanging out. This was date night. Me and Rachel, we actually had a really good dinner. It was fucking awesome. We connected, and really good time. And when the girl comes back, when the server comes back, I had to make it a point. See, this is the kind of loser shit I do. Like, I couldn't just be like, dude, just whatever, take it for what it is. I needed to explain to her, like, throw in there that I knew Spanish. This is so fucking corny. Yo, I was like, oh, is this like crudo, like raw, like in Spanish? This really happened, guys. This is embarrassing. And she goes, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, I didn't expect Spanish, so that's why I said crudo instead of crudo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to like save face, and she's kind of looking at me like, I think you almost like. She was giving me back my Hispanic card, and then she was like, oh, you speak Spanish? I was like, yeah, I'm Dominican. She goes, oh, I'm Mexican, and we connected there. So she didn't take my Hispanic card, but I almost lost that shit in a Japanese restaurant. That's some slick shit, right? You go out for some sushi and you just come out less Hispanic. You don't want that, guys. You don't want that. If you're looking for good sushi in Raleigh, North Carolina, if you're ever in Raleigh for any reason, downtown, go to Oku. I think there's one in Charlotte as well. So if you're ever in those cities, check it out. The fish like melts in your mouth. It's a little fucking pricey, all right? But it's a little pricey, but if you're looking for good sushi, that's where you got to go, all right? If you're in Raleigh and you're looking for sushi that you don't want to break the bank, and you want a good experience that still tastes good, then I would check out Sushi-O on South Glenwood. These people aren't paying me for this. I'm just a fucking nice dude like this, right? I like going out to good spots to eat, so I want to tell you where I go, and hopefully you take somebody on a date or do something like that. I don't know. So my goal for this 2021 is I want to get my Spanish back to, that fucking loosey-goosey shit. But that's going to take no time, really. I just speak that a few days in a row. Already it's coming back. And then French. I'd like to, by the end of next year, to be conversational in French, where I could be, feel comfortable having a nice little intro level conversation. So if you speak French, help your boy out. I'm kind of, I can understand quite a bit and I can read it, but it's the talking. I gotta get over that hump. So if you're looking to learn a language, if you're like, oh, I want to learn Spanish, but I can't because I don't know, like, yeah, some people might lean more towards like linguistics and shit, like. But if you want to learn the language, that's like, I think if you want to genuinely learn another language, you'll be able to do it. Just fucking practice. It's just getting past that hump of feeling uncomfortable. And then when you start doing all these exercises on like Duolingo. So if you're trying to learn Spanish, all right, here you go, guys. Here's the apps I use. Duolingo. So with this app, you can do like exercises and grammar and shit like that. They gamify it so there's points and all that, right? So now you got the exercises down, right? Then there's another app called, this is the second thing I would download, is Coffee Break Spanish. There's also a Coffee Break French as well. Podcast guest Leslie Woods put me on to Coffee Break French, and then I put my neighbor on to Coffee Break Spanish. And what that is, it's a podcast. And it's a Spanish teacher teaching someone to speak Spanish, but then they also go out in the field and they have conversations, and then they break the conversations down. So it's great if you're like in the car. The episodes are like, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and you can like kind of passively learn. So I think if you put in the Duolingo with the listening, that's going to like help amplify your language learning. All right. Now the third part to this, there's there's a app called Hello Talk, and then there's another one that does the same thing, but essentially it's a social media app for people that want to learn other languages. You know, so if you want to learn French, you look for people around the world that speak French, but also want to learn English. And you guys figure out how you communicate. So through that, you connect with them. You can see what they want to learn, what they can help you learn. And then you can either text, you can send pre-recorded like messages and all that, which I think is fucking cool because it takes away like the real time like pressure and fear of speaking a foreign language. You know, so you can text, you can send the pre-recorded messages, and then if you get balling with it, you can fucking video chat and do all that too. So if you're looking to learn some languages, those are the three apps that I recommend. Duolingo, those are for the exercises and shit. You know, they take, you know, each exercise is less than 5 minutes. The podcast Coffee Break French or Coffee Break Spanish. I don't know if any other coffee breaks exist. That's a good one because you can passively listen. And then Hello Talk when you're ready to get out there talking. But the best way to learn a language is immersion. So you got to talk and you got to understand it. You're going to look fucking dumb when you talk. And I'm talking to myself right now too, guys. But you just go in, especially if you're learning Spanish. Spanish-speaking countries are very warm when you learn just a couple words. They're fucking, we go crazy. We love it. We're like, oh shit. If you're white, go up to a Dominican and be like, dímelo loco. They'll be like, oh shit. Like it's like, it creates an energy. It's like, oh shit, you're trying a little bit to understand my culture. And now that's the problem I have with learning French. The French are not as nice when you're learning the language. Very just, I'm like, now I'm trying to learn your language out of spite, and I'm going to try to speak it better than you. So my goal is to learn one language for every decade that I'm alive. I got English and Spanish. French is in my 30s. And then I do Italian and fucking Portuguese, that language. And I don't know, guys. All right? Just fucking, now I'm learning French out of spite, just to spite the French, okay? So yeah, if the French want to keep being mean to me for learning the language, I'll purposely butcher it. I don't even care. Shout out to croissants. If you follow my stories, you know about once a week I post some croissants. I get those from Layered, all right? Layered in Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you're listening to this, and if you ain't from Raleigh, just go find a fucking croissant spot. Find a croissanterie. All right, go find a croissant spot, find some French spots, find the sushi spot. Tell me what's the best sushi spot in your town when I go. Don't think of, I don't live in Raleigh, then I won't ever know. Fucking open your mind. Tell me where you eat sushi. Do you even like sushi? All right. So what are you guys doing for next year? What do you tell me, please? What's your New Year's resolution? Are you looking to do something new? You're looking to get into a hobby, something to kind of, you know, activate that part of the brain? I think hobbies are really, really good. I think I covered this on a much earlier Dolocast, but it needs to be repeated. There's something about American culture where we demonize like leisure activities. Like people, they start stress certain groups of people, especially in like the people that like listen to this podcast, like because we're go-getters. We want to get better. We want to fucking. Sometimes you got to understand that getting better isn't always so direct. You can draw inspiration from other things, and I think a hobby is a great place. Like something that you don't even plan to make money off of. You do it for the pure pleasure, just for the fun. You know, like just the activity itself is the reward, and you lock in. As some of you, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that longboarding is that for me. I'm not saying go longboarding, all right? I actually think certain hobbies are more, you know, suited for different personality types and all that. And I think I'll think about that more before I talk about it. But here's some hobby. If you're looking to do some hobbies, if I don't mention any hobbies that you're thinking of, let me know so I could share it on my stories on Instagram and all that. Hobbies, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is a big one with MMA and all that. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is great. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional because it can get frustrating. It's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? When you learn how to breathe and move your body and it provides, I think it's important for like young men and men in general. I think a lot of dudes would stop being such little bitches if they knew how to like handle themselves. You know what I'm, if you know how to protect yourselves at a base level, I think that would drop a lot of, that's an easy way, a controllable way to drop a lot of insecurity. You don't got to be fucking sizing anybody up. You don't got to be worried about this, and that. You don't got to be worried about because immediately when you start any kind of grappling, you get fucked up the first few weeks. So it's very humbling. So right there, your ego gets put in check right there. And if you could make it past that as a dude, you're killing it, especially if you start doing jujitsu like in your late 30s and stuff. You got to just get over it. And it's I don't know. It's an awakening experience. Help me make this podcast. Share my episodes, whatever, my work with your friends, because the minute I can do this full time, I'm gonna be that's when I can get back to doing some grappling and stuff during the day, because I don't have time to do another hobby. All right, we got to be realistic about this. But I'd like to get back into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, especially when I have kids. Like my kids from like ages 6 to I don't even know 10 or something. They're gonna be doing wrestling, judo, or Brazilian jiu-jitsu like once or twice a week. Obviously, we'll do the arts and stuff like that. I told somebody that they were like, well, I'm going to have my kid do like music and art. I'm like, yeah, you fucking dick. Of course I'm going to have my kid do music and art too. But I think it's underrated in our society that a kid knows how to defend themselves. And then that way you don't worry about the bully, the physical bully. You can't do Brazilian jiu-jitsu for cyberbullying though, right? We need some, what's the martial art for cyberbullying? What do you guys think that is? What is the martial art for cyberbullying? Longboarding is another good. It's great. If you're, I'm obsessed with it. I can tell that it draws a certain type of person. I've watched people get on the board and they're like, you can just see it in them. They're like, this ain't for me, man. I'm not. This ain't for me. They'll never get on a board again. Other people get on and something clicks in them. And you can get obsessed. It's freeing. You're getting off of a screen. My buddy introduced me to longboarding, and I was like, all right, I'll just do this for 20 minutes, a couple times a week after work, just to blow off some steam and get out in front of a screen. I ended up being obsessed, and for like a solid 2 years, I was going every single day. Every single day, I started drinking less because I was like, if I'm drinking, then I can't longboard. So it was just easy. Like it was just my quality of life improved. It was palpable. Where I fucked up was that I stopped lifting. And I was just longboarding. So I lost a lot of muscle that I put on in college and all that. Because I was thinking, I'm like, all right, if I'm a comedian now, I don't need muscles. Why do I need muscles? I'm a comedian now. I could be skinny. But the problem was when I got skinny, it reminded me that I have a big fucking head. So when my body got skinny, my head's fucking big and it just looks goofy. So now I'm back in the gym trying to put on muscle. So I'm not longboarding as much. So yeah, just be careful about your head to body ratio. You know what I'm saying? Just be aware of it. I'm not saying, we already have enough body image issues in this country and in this world, but all my fellow big head people out there get what I'm saying. All right. You gotta, even if you gotta be a little fat to put the ratio, to put it in order, go ahead and do that. Golf is another hobby I noticed that people get into. That was actually one of my gifts to Rachel. She's been talking about golfing, so I got her 8 free golf lessons. Not free. I got her 8 golf lessons for each year that we've been together. And so she's going to be doing that. She wants to for business meetings and stuff like that. She wants to be on the golf course whooping that ass. So if she's going to be playing these doctors, she's going to wax that ass proper, all right? My girl's going to get in. My girl don't fuck around, dog. And if she's getting these lessons, I think I'm creating a monster over here. She might go pro. Who knows, guys? Who knows? So golf's another good hobby. Yoga's another good one. I can tell people get really into that one. That it seems to change people's life, which makes sense. You're like learning how to breathe and shit and breathe through pain and be aware of your body and ground yourself. For a whole hour, you're like feeling the ground and feeling your body and looking and you're aware. It's fucking cool. So if you think about doing yoga, that's another good one. Hunting and guns. That's another hobby. People that are really into guns, people that go hunting. People hunt different things. Hunt, quail, duck, deer and shit like that. Then there's like that big game hunting, So that seems like a good one. I think it's weird if guys are super into guns but they can't fight. Like they're obsessed with guns but can't like without the guns, they can't defend themselves. Not saying that, it doesn't matter because you can shoot somebody or whatever, but it's just this weird thing. I feel like to get a gun, you should know how to like throw some hands a little bit, I know I'm treading into gun control territory here, but just hear me out, all right? And maybe this is something we could cover on for my presidential run, all right? It's a long time to get there, so we have time to write these policies out, all right? Crocheting, I've noticed girls on my Instagram crocheting. That seems to be a good hobby. That's it. It just seems like meditative, right? Pa, 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 pa. Anything that makes you lose sense of time, of yourself, of the ego, right? These hobbies do that. I was longboarding one time and one of my neighbors came out and was just like, hey man, like, why are you doing this? I get asked why I'm doing something. I feel like a little bit more than I should. And when the answer is just for fun, sometimes people get confused. So don't be afraid to just do some shit for fun. Like just do a hobby just to fucking disconnect and get away from it. Painting and drawing. Guys, a lot of us used to draw when we were kids and then we just stopped. You had so much fun doing it. You stopped for no other reason. Then you got older. You got busy. But now you're looking for something to do. You can go back to drawing. Drawing still exists. It's still out there. You can do it as a hobby, guys. Bike riding. Either street bikes, which piss a lot of people off, or mountain biking. I mean, I'm sure there's other biking here. I'm just trying to give you guys some little strings to pull at if you're looking for some hobbies to do, or you have a friend that's in the dump and is looking for some hobbies to do. Because you might be, it helped with my depression. Like helped with that like phase in my life where I was like lost. It helped me fucking grab onto something that I was like, oh my God, there's still joy in the world. That's what it did. And you think your life's messed up, but sometimes you just need to change the perspective. Maybe you just don't have a hobby. Maybe you don't hate your job. Maybe you just don't have an outlet after work. And all you're doing is Netflix. And Netflix is cool, but if that's all you're doing, it's probably not, right? It's probably not. So the bike riders, guys. I lost my thought there, and I'm coming back to the bike riders because as a person that longboards now on the street, and I'll not be in the way. Sometimes you just get nasty looks, I think, just because you're having fun. And I definitely have more sympathy for bike because I know a lot of people that don't bike are very annoyed by them. And now I definitely have way more empathy and sympathy and patience. Like if I see some bike people, I don't even get mad. I'm like, oh, I get it. You guys are fucking out here trying to make moves. So everybody stop hating. Why don't you get your fucking ass on a bike, all right? Get out of your car and go take a walk. But also, don't be an asshole if you're in the street. I try very hard not to be in the way, So bike riders, maybe fucking, I don't know. Figure your shit out, all right? There are more bike lanes being put in. Bike lanes help a ton. So if you're in the city with bike lanes, longboard, bike riding, horseback riding. You can do trails and shit like that. You can do, there's people that give lessons to teach horses. So for kids and stuff, that's a good one. And then just writing, journaling, write. You know what you can do? You can literally sit down and just write your own story. Did you know that you could just sit down and just write your own? You could just sit down at your kitchen table and create your own Star Wars if you really wanted to. With all the characters, you do it different. If you're like, I don't get Star Wars, you can make your own shit, make your own story, make your own Gone Girl, make your own erotica. You could sit down and just write and just create a whole world on in a notebook. And one of these old school, look at that, the salt and pepper book. You can create a whole fucking story here that keeps people glued and might even change someone's life. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows what you can do? One more thing about the hobbies and longboarding. I just found out that apparently Shakira picked up longboarding. And she was in her most recent video. In her most recent video, she was longboarding. And like it was like a big part of the video, apparently. I haven't watched it yet. But it made me think about when I was younger, I used to jokingly seriously say that if I ever met Shakira, she would fall in love with me. Anybody who knew me in college, I've probably said this to you, especially when I was drunk. If Shakira came up, I'm like, I bet you if I met her at a bar, we would totally hit it off and she'd fall in love with me. Right? I haven't said that in years, right? Because I found the love of my life, guys. I'm good, But when I found out Shakira longboarded, I was like, I fucking Come on, if that ain't a sign, dude. Shout out to Shakira. We covered it on the World Local News, the World Local News podcast yesterday. We live streamed, and that was a highlight of February. It was J-Lo and Shakira halftime at the Super Bowl. Was there anything better? I feel like they beat Justin and Janet Jackson too. What do you think? What was better, Janet and Justin or J-Lo and Shakira? Let's be objective about this, guys, too, okay? Let's really try to be objective because these are important issues we're covering here, okay? Here's a weird New Year's resolution you could do, right? If you're a person that's on social media and you scroll, you don't create a ton of content, you're on social media for the purposes of entertainment and learning and just like, you're there to kill some time. But maybe now you found that like Facebook and Instagram and sometimes you get sucked in and you're scrolling and you feel like shit afterwards. If you want to help with that, go get on TikTok. It's not all dancing. There's a bunch of shit you could learn. You can learn how to get a side hustle. You can learn how to fix shit, DIY, depending on the algorithm you have. If you like dances, there'll be dances too. There's people learning so much shit on TikTok. So if you're into self-development and getting better, that's a very fun way to open your eyes to other people doing shit. Also creating. I know there's a lot of hate on TikTok, but I actually think, I've said this from the jump. I mean, it's a great app. You got a whole generation of kids that now look at the world as like, how can I turn this into something creative? That probably is going to do something to, I don't know. I just feel like that does something to the thinking of like a whole generation of people. It's a fire fucking app. If I had to objectively, the best apps, I think TikTok is number one. Especially if you're just you're on social for the entertainment. TikTok is number one. I think. All right, I said objective. I would put Facebook next, but that's for my personal thing. But I think Facebook, objectively speaking, would probably be the last because that's one of the more toxic, mainstream social media apps. I like it if you don't have a brittle spirit. Facebook's great because you just really get to watch people with just psychosis unfold. People that you knew, they're just going. You're just like you just see people declining, and there's a beauty to that. Sometimes, there's a beauty to it. So I like Facebook's my number two, but I would say number two for objectively speaking would probably be Instagram. But just get on TikTok, guys. Get over yourself. Stop this hate, on TikTok. Don't be embarrassed when you get on. There's like this weird, like, oh, I'm over 30 and I'm on TikTok. Like, no, especially if you're a content creator. I should be on there instead of Instagram. But I'm not because I'm a fucking idiot sometimes. So that's that. Oh yeah, 43 minutes here. I feel like I have these random questions, but they really don't work unless I have comment like interactions and shit. Like I think this whole fucking podcast would have been better if I can when I figure that out. I did something before that I normally don't do, so that's why they're not coming up. But I'm gonna save these questions for next time. The notes I do have are, so maybe you could be ready for the next one. I wrote down, most of us do things for power, either for power over ourselves or power over others. So I'm going to give some thoughts on that. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Another question is romantic love real? Like romantic love, is that real? We know that love is, right? But is romantic love real? I'm going to cover these on the next live stream when I have comments because I really want to hear what people have to say. So just something to think about. Is romantic love real, or is it just something that us humans created, to whatever, the way we just create shit? It's just a construct. We know love is real, right? Because you have love for people, whatever. But is romantic love real, or is it just a construct? That's a question. And then I got to save this for the comment section too, but what was the worst parenting day of your life? Somebody was telling me a story and they said, that was the worst parenting day of my life. And I was like, oh damn, I never heard that shit. What I say, guys, you want to get my attention? Tell me some shit I never heard before. Tell me some shit and I'm locked in, because then I was like, oh shit. That's a really good question to ask parents. Like, what was your worst parenting day? If you want, feel free to hit me up in the DMs. But I'm going to cover this on the next live stream, which I'm going to do Monday at 9:30. All right. I'm trying different days to see where I'm going to land on. But hit me up Monday at 9:30. But I will cover this, guys. What do we got here? 45 minutes. I'm going to actually, you know what? I'll cover the presidential run and I'll cover it again on live stream. But 2052, I'm running for president, guys. Just kidding. But like, you know what I mean? For the bit, I'm running for president, guys. 2052. We're going to start early. It's going to be a third party because we don't like the two-party system. We complain about the two-party system, but yet we still vote two-party, right? Because you want to win the election, right? Two-party system. Y'all, so we still want to vote Republican or Democrat because of the lesser of two evils, or we get whatever. No. When I run at 2052, guys, if you want some change, you're going to vote third party, guys. All right? I got frustrated. I used to get frustrated with that. Like, why the fuck do people complain about the two-party system and yet still vote two-party systems? But then you see all the fucking shitty relationships that people are in, that they stay in, that they complain about openly to their friends, and then they stay in them. They complain to their friends as like a way to release, as catharsis. They put their friends through emotional trauma and get their friends invested. Then they just keep going along with this unfulfilling toxic relationship. I'm talking about toxic relationship, guys. I'm not talking about fucking people that don't know. You don't know, what you want. You don't have your shit figured out. I'm talking about objectively toxic relationships. Get out. Listen to the last Dolocast on the best time of the year to break up with someone if you need some more perspective on that. But 2052, I'm making a run for president, guys. Making a run for president. It's gonna be great. My immigration policy is fire. All right, because this immigration policy is not going to be based off of where you were born. Has nothing to do about where you were born. All right, this immigration policy has to do with your character. All right. Okay, there are gonna be things that you like people that park their cars. People that park their cars in a parking lot and their car's on the white line, and then they look and they see their tire in the white line and they just keep it moving into the store and they don't fix it, they're getting deported. Those people are getting deported under my new immigration plan when I run for president in 2052. All right? People that can't admit when they're wrong might be getting deported too. We're still working on this. Very early phases, so that we're going to be, we're going to be crowdsourcing some of these policies, okay? People think immigration and you hear Mexicans. Dude, I'm so sick of the shade on Mexican people. I'm done. Hispanic people get so offended if you say, like, if you mistake them for Mexican. Like, they get, like, you could tell it's like this weird, like, oh, I don't want to be Mexican. But Mexicans are fucking fire, bro. Mexicans are they're killing the game. They are the best culture, all things considered, all around, right? Right? Food's delicious. Work ethic, right? For the longest time, I thought it was the East Asians. I thought it was the East Asians because you talk about food. They got it on lock. East Asia. You guys got the fucking entree food portion down on lock so hard, and it's probably the best food, right? That any like culture can produce, the best food. But it's so good too because they didn't even focus on the desserts. What are some good Asian desserts? Bet you can't name one. Bet you can't. Don't say mochi balls. Those it's like icy. I feel like that's just repurposed Italian ice. All right. So I'm gonna need to do more research on the mochi balls. All right. But I thought it was the Asians. I thought they have the food, they have the work ethic. They stick to tradition but move to the future at a rate. I mean, it's beautiful. They're efficient. For the longest time, I'm like, these are the best fucking people in the world. But then recently I was like, oh shit, a lot of them don't tell their kids that they're proud of them or that they love them, and I can't fuck with that. So they lost it for me, and now Mexicans have taken the number one spot because the Mexicans, and remember, this is all things considered, right? That's a big thing. If you don't tell your kids culturally that you're fucking proud of them, like that, what are we going to do here? But Mexicans, the food, right? You already know. Tacos. Any Mexican restaurant, you open up. Do Mexican restaurants ever fail? Do they? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Mexican restaurant fail because the food is that fire. All right, so the food's good. Work ethic. Everybody knows Mexican work ethic, baby. That shit, just that like ethic is deep. You see it in their boxing too. Mexican, when they box, dude, they're the most exciting boxers because they go in and they just fucking gang. It's the opposite of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, he's counter punching and shit like that. Very smart boxing, best boxer of all time in my opinion. I know nothing, so take that with a grain of salt. But Mexicans, those are the boxing matches you want to watch because they're fucking hammering away. So the work ethic piece, the food, they show love. It's definitely there's like that machismo aspect and all that, and like, but they have the family piece too. Mexicans, and they're like family oriented as well, right? Mexicans are what the U.S. likes to market itself as. They're actually that. They're like, for the most part, like religious, family oriented, hardworking. And here's where they bring it all in. Here's where they fucking take the cake, is that they know how to have fun too. If you ever party with Mexicans, you know what the fuck I'm talking. Really, any Hispanic country, but we're just talking about the Mexicans now. They have that Hispanic, that warmth, that hey, oh yeah, that shit is generations of just everything coming together to bring you the perfect culture. So shout out to Mexicans, all right? So when I'm president, Mexicans will have preferential treatment under my rules. This might be a monarchy, guys. We might have to change a couple things, but trust me, you're going to want me as your king, all right? All right, guys, I'm going to do random thoughts, and I might cover some of this other shit in the next live stream because we fucking missed the comments, guys. But we've done 52 minutes. If you're watching this on live stream, you're fucking awesome. If you dipped out because you couldn't see the comments and you saw no point, I totally understand that too. All right, but we'll be back up. I'll be doing this FredTalk Dolocast this Monday, 9:30. I like to cover. I'll give you a little teaser. I want to cover attachment styles. That's something that's been popping up in the relationship field. Like it's like there's like the love language, but then there's like the attachment style, which I think is a deeper understanding as to how you love and how you accept love and things like that. I got to do more research, and I'm not coming on as an expert. I'm not like, oh, here's what I learned, and I'm going to tell you this, and this is what you got to do. I'm just going to be like, yo, this is what I fucking think, and I'm going to get silly with some of the perspective on it, and we're going to have fun with it. And I promise the chat will be up. So guys, subscribe, rate, and review to my podcast, FredTalk, available on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Freddie Valoy. Follow me on Instagram for some laughs. Help me out here, guys. Share my content if you like it. This is you're helping your boy. You're helping your boy chase his dream and attain his dream. So I hope you like the setup. We've upgraded this year, new equipment. We out here, B. We out here, B. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Bye.